This is Miami All Access.
Coach, obviously last night was a tough game. Again, a slow start for the team. Give us your thoughts after you had a chance to look at film.
Well, I had an opportunity to watch film a couple times of the game, and it's interesting to watch some of our opportunities that we squander, getting the ball inside and not being able to finish, getting to the free throw line. I think we missed 4 in a row, some different layups. So in many ways, the shots that we don't finish were really good shots. And if you finish them, you take a look at our shooting percentage, we'd be at 50% just finishing the plays around the rim. And obviously anytime you go through a drought like that, you're trying to get easy buckets, and then when you do get them, you're not able to capitalize on them. As I watched the film, probably one of the better games for us as far as boxing out and getting people off, and they did go some. And so not giving up an offensive rebound is certainly something to build on as you continue to watch the game and getting through into the second half and the press and the energy it brought us. We put ourselves right there on numerous occasions. We cut it to 6. We get a couple different plays. We get a couple steals. We get a 10-second call. They go zone. We miss a 3. I think Sully misses a 3. Then we miss another 3. Then we get a traveling call on Willie. I don't know about the call, but so they stymie us, and then they go back up. I think they go back up 12, and yet and still we're able to cut it back down again, and so put ourselves in a position to be right there through the course of the game, especially more specifically in the second half, and to be there at the end of the game. And we couldn't make the extra play. Had an opportunity to cut it to 2 and a steal, and G and Willie basically run into each other, and it leads to a bucket on the other end. I believe if we score then, we have an opportunity to cut it to either 1 or 2 on that possession. So we're right there, and there's I can't remember the time. I watched the tape so much now, but we're right there. And so I did think there were certainly some positives that came from the game, and feel like, after that game that there's some things that were certainly headed in the right direction. We had a couple of breakdowns on some closeouts, and as far as guys being able to drive downhill. More specifically, those were in the first half. But feel better with some of the things that I saw on tape as far as this group, and I liked what the energy that the group, the smaller group, the press and everything that they brought to the game.
You talked about the energy of this team, and as their energy seems to go, so goes this team.
Right.
And what do you do to get that energy from the very beginning? Because it was clear it wasn't there.
Right. I mean, I think it's the $1 million question, and I don't know if it's guys really concerned about our starts. And I think, you're thinking about that, and maybe that adds even a little bit more pressure on them. And then anytime we go through the drought, it really sucks away our energy. And so, if I had the answer to that, boy, would I be worth a lot of money. But I do think you hit it on the head. It's interesting. We score 43 points or something, 43 points in the second half of the game, and just to take a look, we forced them in 11 turnovers in the second half, but just the various ways. I think Eric in multiple games, numerous games I should say, has been a different player in the second half. I think even his energy level has been much better in creating things. And certainly he had a couple turnovers that were unfortunate that if he had to take back, he would. But just the pressure and the active bodies and live bodies that we had in the second half, and being able to turn a team over, being able to get in transition and do some different things really helped us.
Got a relatively quick turnaround. Longwood coming in on Wednesday night. Tell us a little bit about the Lancers. You're obviously
well. I mean, Longwood's coming off of a loss to Maryland, Baltimore County, I believe, and so I expect them to come in and really be ready to play. They have a very talented kid inside. I cannot pronounce his name yet, so I will not try to, but he's good. He makes foul shots, and when he gets it inside, he's 6'8", about 235, 240. He is an absolute presence, and so you've got to be able to defend him. Probably see a little bit of zone, very similar in some ways to what Wright State, their zone and what they did. But I think one of the things that I was talking to the team about a little bit earlier this morning is just focusing on ourselves. And obviously we have an opponent we have to get prepared for, but getting locked in and cleaning up a few things that occurred in the game that we maybe could do a little bit better. But, coming out of this game and having an opportunity to really pour through the tape and watch it, I feel much better. I saw some areas from a coaching standpoint this team improved on. Some things we've been working on, and so now you hope to make the next step. And as I've said it before, it's no different. You get a win under your belt. It sort of changes your demeanor, your outlook, and get yourself going.
Talking about some of the guys who've been stepping up, Willie Moore has had some pretty consistent performances. Talk a little bit about his progression over the last week and a half.
Well, he has. I think Willie made the adjustment to coming off the bench and has played well in that. And two, it's in many ways probably allowed us to have him on the floor more and keep him out of foul trouble. In that, I want to say he went through a stretch to where he was getting 2 fouls in the first 5-7 minutes of every single game. And so maybe coming in this way has certainly helped us and helped him. But he had shot the ball particularly well. He didn't score as much last night. Had a couple of really good reads defensively and some tap balls and steals and everything else. Had a couple careless turnovers, which is, that's my area, and I think everyone understands and knows what Willie is to take care of the ball and to eliminate the turnovers, because the turnovers at times that he has are turnovers that if he would just make the simple play, the play that's there, he can get rid of those. But I put him in last night, and probably his first 3 or 4 minutes weren't his best 3 or 4. Then he seemed to settle down, and you always worry sometimes. He's been on a roll, coming off the bench the past couple games, and maybe he comes in and he's pressing to continue that, but just to go ahead and play the game and let the game come to him. But it's interesting. He's really a coachable kid in that he's accepted the role, and I don't know if he's going to continue to come off the bench the whole year or not, but once he's gotten used to it and accepted it, and he's been good with it. But for Willie, as I always tell him, make the easy plays, and then from a defensive perspective, to continue and try to think and be more solid. There's a time and a place to gamble and to take your opportunities, but you can't take them every time down the court. And so and then, of course, body language and demeanor is always the thing with him. And I said, whether or not, officials don't know you, but what you mean by it and what it shows, you don't ever want to show up an official or whatever. And, and obviously that's what I got a technical last night, and that's what it was surrounding, and it came about, because of that. And I guess something maybe Willie said, or his emotions or whatever towards the official, and the official wasn't happy, and he told me about it, and we had a discussion. I ended up getting a technical, but it's just all the little things, and especially as I talk to him, you're a junior, so from a maturity standpoint, that's something that you have to be able to show, because basically this thing goes fast. Next thing you know, you'll be a senior.